Good afternoon. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us at this official launch of the second day of the Spain Investors Day 2026. Please welcome Héctor Flórez, President of Deloitte. Héctor, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today, we come together with a clear purpose: to highlight the central role Spain is playing in sustaining Europe's growth and the compelling opportunities that position our country as a very attractive destination for foreign investment. I'd like to start by sharing a few thoughts about our continent. The world is certainly in need of a tilt to Europe. In an increasingly uncertain, complex, fragile context, humanity needs a stronger and more influential Europe, one that contributes to global resilience by promoting dialogue and firmly defending human rights. But influence cannot exist without economic strength. If we are economically weak, our voice will not be heard globally. As the head of a leading Spanish corporation recently said, the greatest risk our continent faces today is our low rate of economic growth. Many large multinationals like ours, like Deloitte, are prioritizing Europe as a key destination for future investments. We know many of you are doing the same. All of us must do our part, because supporting Europe is supporting the greater good. As you all know, our country has been the main growth engine of Europe over the last few years, and I am convinced that there is significant room for further growth. The transformation of the Spanish economy is underway. We are leveraging our strengths and evolving towards a higher value-added economic model that allows us to boost both productivity and growth. In other words, we are successfully balancing perform and transform, which is not an easy task. However, we are just in the middle of this transformation journey, and new investments to unlock the full potential of our economy are necessary and are welcome. This shift requires bold and committed leadership, a leadership that transforms vision into action and guides us through times of uncertainty, maintaining the highest standards of fairness and social well-being. In this spirit, I'd like to congratulate Minister Carlos Cuerpo. His resolute and authentic leadership is soundly driving Spain's progress, strengthening our performance, and increasing our value as a leading force for Europe's future. Minister of Economy, representatives of companies and investment funds, thank you for joining us today and for your confidence in Spain. Let's keep building a brighter future together. Minister, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Good afternoon already. Thank you very much for having me, Benito. Thank you for your nice and kind words, Héctor. It is actually the third time that I've had the privilege of attending our Investors' Day, which has become a milestone with which we kickstart the new year. It's also a moment which is also very nice for me to go over what's been happening and what's to come for the Spanish economy. So you will allow me a few minutes to talk about my favorite subject, which is, of course, the Spanish economy. So 3 editions of this forum, for me, 3 years of constant change around the world, adding to a series of unprecedented shocks, uncertainty about what the future will bring in the short but also in the medium run, and uncertainty for us policymakers and for you business people on how to bring prosperity, how to best achieve welfare and economic well-being. A degree of change in the world of the past few years that words can hardly capture, at least mine. So you will allow me to borrow a few from Bob Dylan, his words written almost 60 years ago, but resonating very strongly today. Admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, and you better start swimming, or you'll sink like a stone, for the times they are changing. So as I said, this was written 60 years ago almost, but it resonates very well today. And in this very complex, uncertain context, allow me to be provocative today and send a message of optimism. Of course, always informed optimism, but optimism nevertheless. In a nutshell, if I have to leave you with one sentence, my message to you today is very clear. Spain is where it's at. Spain is the place to be. But let me spell out the main reason, the main factors behind this assessment. So the first one, you alluded to it, Hector, is of course the balanced growth model that we're building. We're building up a diversified and balanced growth model, which is actually allowing us to outperform our main competitors, our main partners. Basically, while many of our main partners are experiencing a slowdown, particularly in the Eurozone, Spain stands out. Unlike in previous crises, this time around, the recovery has been marked by dynamism, stability as well, and an exceptional ability to adapt to external shocks. And this is not only about growth figures. We did actually leave COVID behind unscarred, and that's already something. But on top of that, we are returning to pre-COVID trend growth. And we're doing that in a much more balanced way than in previous occasions. So we show healthy growth figures, and as you said, while we transform the economy. Spain is building a growth model that is different from those that we experienced in previous periods. Now the model is balanced, robust, diversified, and therefore sustainable in the long term. We're laying the foundations, as I said before, for future prosperity. Strong job creation, more stable and higher quality jobs, record external surplus, basically tilting towards exports of non-tourism services, so higher value added, including, of course, consultancy amongst others, but financial services or others, increased productivity per hour, above previous periods of growth, again making extensive and intensive factors of growth compatible, that is, job creation and productivity, which was not the case in previous growth periods. This robust and balanced growth is being fully compatible also with fiscal responsibility. That's another area of balance within those figures. Public debt has fallen by more than 22 percentage points from its COVID peak, early 2021, and is expected to keep on declining in the next future. Actually, I hope that we would have reached, by the end of 2025, we will know the figures in the next few months, around 101% of GDP as public debt figure, basically going back to pre-COVID levels, so rebuilding the buffer that we did use for responding to COVID. Building back buffers, growing out of debt, out of our strategy in terms of economic policy, but also reaching, as we expect in 2025, primary surplus, that is a contribution to reduction of debt, not only by growth or through growth, but also through fiscal responsibility. So growth and a balanced growth model is the first factor. The second one is redistribution of that growth. So we need to give a purpose, and it is a social purpose, the one that we give to growth, achieving an improved wealth distribution, reducing inequalities in our country. Just let me give you some examples of figures going in this direction that come, of course, out of the measures and the actions that we've taken and that are yielding results. First one, when we look at purchasing power of households in our country, we look at OECD data and look at how real gross disposable income per capita has evolved. So we're looking at salaries, including the impact of prices, including the impact also of taxes, of transfers from the government, but also including the increase in population. So this real gross disposable income per capita has grown in Spain by around 8% since 2022. And it's higher than the US, it's higher than our G7 counterparts, and it's higher than most of the OECD members. Furthermore, 2018 to 2024, Spain is the third country in which the poverty risk rate has fallen the most in the entire Eurozone, reducing the gap with the Eurozone average, by a third. Another area of structural improvement in social terms. When you look at the dropout rate of our youngsters, the early school dropout rate has decreased from 33% in the early 2000s to barely 12% today. And when you look at unemployment rates, they're rather comparable today with what we had, for example, around 2002, 2004, but the dropout rate is 1/3 of what we had back then. So all these factors are interdependent, they feed into each other, and they lead to virtuous circles, in this case of growth, and giving a social spin to our growth figures, a social soul. Third factor, we are transforming big structural challenges into opportunities. So where most usually see risks, we Spaniards, we actually see opportunities, and that we all know. Actually, the whole reindustrialization process, the modernization of our economy is built around those opportunities that we're seizing out of the risks that we see ahead. So the first one is, of course, that Spain is championing the development of renewable energies. And that does not only mean that we're defending climate and our future, it also has a clear competitiveness dividend. It is paying off already. We're reducing our dependence on fossil fuels, as well as, of course, developing a path based on strategic autonomy and energy sovereignty. And I'm happy to share also the impact that this is having in terms of attracting investment. Foreign investors do share this view, and we see that in the data. Between 2018 and November 2025, so barely 2 months ago, our country ranked as the world's second, I repeat, second largest recipient of greenfield projects in the renewable energy sector throughout the world. And as the second, also, largest destination for clean hydrogen projects, just behind the US. When you look at other sectors, AI and cutting-edge technologies, when they come to stage, we see that throughout that same period, between 2018 and 2025, we rank fourth, as the fourth recipient of projects involving R&D activities, fifth in greenfield communication projects, and fifth in AI-related activities. Again, all positive synergy movements that are combining all together to give us these positive growth figures and this element of transformation of our economy. And just let me give you also another dimension where we see the modernization of the Spanish economy, which is the startup ecosystem. That's usually not such a well-known story, but let me tell you that when, for example, we go to countries such as Japan, there is a toe-to-toe discussion on how our startup ecosystems are developing. And we're talking about Japan. And I think this is something that should also be reflected in our day-to-day conversation. So the Spanish startup ecosystem has actually doubled its size over the past 5 years. And we've been the third fastest growing in the EU, just behind Ireland and Belgium. And also the quality and the sectors where these startup projects are being developed are tilted towards deep tech, especially focusing on strategic sectors such as biotech or food tech, so higher value added, and an additional element of strategy or strategic autonomy component looking ahead. Spanish companies are more than prepared today to scale up in global value chains, created higher value-added jobs and offering a wider range of services. Just let me give you a few figures in terms of employment as well. Job creation is happening basically concentrated in higher value-added sectors as well. While employment since pre-COVID, actually third quarter of 2019, has grown by 12.6%, employment in the higher value-added or higher end of technology sectors has grown by twice as much, 22.4. 12.6 versus 22.4. And this translates, for example, into the fact that over the past 2 years and a half, almost 50% of all new jobs have been created in the top 5 sectors in terms of higher salaries. That, again, is another clear signal of how our economy is being transformed. The fourth and final factor of this recipe is, of course, Europe. We cannot understand what is going on in Spain today without Europe. Of course, it has to do a lot with the recovery plan and the recovery fund, so a distinctive response to COVID from the European perspective. But we should keep on fighting with determination for Europe. These are testing times for us Europeans, times where our European values seem to be questioned and the future of European integration as well. So it is time for us to swim, as Bob Dylan was saying, and really show everyone what it means to be European and prove them wrong, because I think we have all the tools available at our disposal. Despite criticism and pessimism, I think that there are very promising avenues of what's to come for Europe. And let me also give you a few examples of things that are happening, usually under the radar, but that can have also a big impact going forward. In terms of governance, there's a lot of talk lately on the importance of coalitions of the willing, on being able to go ahead in different setups of groups, not only with 27 member states actually being in agreement, but from the Spanish perspective, we've been moving forward with this, pushing at the European level with what we call the European Competitiveness Lab for more than a year. What is the European Competitiveness Lab? It is a pragmatic tool that aims to really garner this consensus bottom-up. When we have a few countries that are willing to integrate and to implement integration policies, a common project, they can actually, we can use this platform for them to start a project with a reduced number of countries, but then generate momentum around that project. And even this fear of missing out effect, this FOMO effect that will engage other countries along. We've made tangible progress already on some areas, including capital markets union and also now the single market, which are the two main elements, the two main pillars of further economic integration, as we know from the Draghi and the Letta report. But let me give you a few more elements that are happening. You know, in this room, all of you, about the Regime 28 proposal by Enrico Letta. We're already working at the Spanish level with a very similar proposal, but landed in the Spanish reality to reduce barriers amongst regions and municipalities in Spain, what we call the 20th regime. We have 17 regions plus 2 autonomous cities with which we're working in collaboration to identify barriers and duplicities to companies so that they can develop their activity in a smoother and easier way. We are moving this also beyond our borders. We are already working on a roadmap with Portugal to be able to have an Iberian regime as well, within which all our companies can operate freely. And then from then on, we can extend this as an oil effect to olive oil, of course, effect to the rest of the continent. So as I said, tangible process, but not only within Europe or looking inward, but also looking outward. I think we had great news this very week around Mercosur and the capacity of the European Union to enlarge its network of allies. We need more projects like the trade agreement between the EU and Mercosur. So we've been able to finally, and I'm crossing fingers because it will be signed 2 days from today, so on Saturday. But we brought together 25 years of negotiations to bring about a market of 700 million consumers that would generate opportunities for our firms, for our companies, and of course for our citizens. It's not just about trade, it's about economic security, of course, which is a dimension that was not present or that present when we started those conversations, but is now more present than ever. And we made this, again, and I'll go back to my first point, according to European principles and values. And I think this is more valuable than ever today. So these are 4 factors that I would say summarize our recipe for success. And the figures for the Spanish economy, which are differential with respect to our peers and to our own past. These figures actually, they speak for themselves. And I was discussing with Hector how lucky I am to be able to come today and talk about the Spanish economy with these great figures on the table. Allow me just to say a few words in Spanish as well about the Spanish growth model. El modelo de crecimiento español funciona. Es un modelo equilibrado, es un modelo de carácter verde que apuesta por la sostenibilidad, es un modelo moderno que apuesta por la innovación, es un modelo justo que refuerza nuestro estado del bienestar y es un modelo competitivo donde las empresas pueden crecer. This is not to say that there are no challenges or no further progress envisaged. Quite the opposite, actually. You will find that we are still very ambitious in our strategy and where we want the Spanish economy to actually land, what the new steady state will be for the Spanish economy. Of course, let me mention 2 main challenges for the Spanish economy going forward. The first one being, of course, the housing challenge. It's a challenge that we're facing, most advanced economies, particularly within the EU. And here, I just want to stress that the commitment from the government is very clear. We're working hard to ensure equitable and affordable access to housing, from specific legislation measures to financing, developing a comprehensive strategy, as I said, to fight and to be able to really get to where we want in terms of ensuring affordable access to housing and covering for market failures that do actually exist. The other element, the other main challenge that we are addressing going ahead is, of course, the productivity challenge. I think this might have been discussed already a few times around the last couple of days. But, of course, a great part of our roadmap includes addressing productivity, fitting a virtuous circle of larger businesses, businesses that grow, as I said before, that are capable of investing more, growing, and therefore becoming more competitive, being able to attract higher paid workers, which is, of course, highly qualified workers, better salaries, contributing, in a nutshell, to a greater prosperity in our country. How are we actually getting to this growth strategy for firms? Through actually 4 pillars. Of course, together with companies and labor organizations, but we're working through simplification, innovation, financing, and internationalization. These are the ways in which we hope to increase productivity and be able to also allow, through scale, better and faster growth of our firms. We can, in the question part, we can get into details of any of those elements. And this is basically, as I said, how we want to continue building the necessary confidence amongst investors, among business people, so that you continue coming to Spain and that we have this shared understanding that Spain is really the place to be, not only now, but also for the future. We are redefining the Made in Spain concept as a blend today between innovation, sustainability, competitiveness, and social awareness. We have a clear vision of the road ahead. We have also, I think, a track record of being able to walk it. And we count on you to continue alongside us, alongside Spain. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much. Thanks very much, Minister, for the speech. We have collected some questions from the audience and wanted just to elaborate a bit on the challenges of the economy. You have touched upon the size of corporates and how the government is trying to foster increase in the size of that corporate level that we have in Spain. Just wanted to get a bit of a sense of how that will play out in the coming years. And also wanted to get a bit of a sense of what is the role of the Spanish government in trying to enlarge corporates in the defense sector, telecom sector, or financial sector. Thank you.
So shall I go one by one? So on, I'm happy that you can start having lunch. Otherwise, I felt really bad. So on firm size and how the overall strategy has to contribute to increased productivity and getting out of the usual constraints that we had in Spain of a model of small firms which are not productive and therefore cannot engage in actually hiring highly qualified workers or even allowing themselves to pay higher wages. So we want to get out of this old-fashioned model, and we're doing this, as I said, when we look at the SME section or fraction of our economy. I mean, we know that we are an SME country, that's not just us, it's all around Europe, but even within this context, the fact that Spain is basically a country of small and medium enterprises, our SMEs are smaller in comparison to other countries. So there's really a need for us to make them grow. And you know, there's the egg and chicken element, which is firms have to be productive to grow, but firms that grow are more productive, so you never know exactly where to start. So we're starting everywhere. So we are actually allowing firms to grow with after having a careful consideration of the diagnosis of the factors that are impeding them to grow, as I said, through different avenues. First one, simplification. We're working on a simplification agenda, as I said, together with the regions and with the municipalities to be able to reduce the burden of the legislation that firms have to face without entering into a deregulation agenda. I think there is a lot of scope for us to simplify, to reduce unproductive time for firms in dealing with this administrative or red tape burden. And amongst other things, we're doing it taking advantage of course, progress in digitalization and technological tools. So one particular element that I would like to note today is that we're working, and hopefully we will have a prototype working by the end of this year on a platform for SMEs, like we have ChatGPT on a daily basis. Allow me to say a specific brand. There are many out there. Some of you might use another one, Gemini, whatever. So we want to have something similar for firms, for SMEs, whereby you don't need to know what tools are available for you, what financing instruments from the government. You just have somehow a search query, a space where you can ask questions, and from then on, all the information is coming to you naturally and is leading you towards where you want finally to land, including access to public instruments, including interaction with the public administration. You know, we have something similar in Spain when it comes to how we go on a yearly basis with our personal tax, and whereby we have the administration giving us a draft of our personal tax declaration, and we just have to, I mean, if everything is correct, we just have to approve it. So something similar when it comes to asking for or going for subsidies or financial instruments at the state level, so that you can have an easy way to navigate these complex administrative burden and areas, whereby sometimes just because of lack of knowledge or because of the complexity, you don't get to take advantage of those subsidies or those instruments that are available to you. So that's one specific area. Then we're working, of course, on the financing so that we cover for existing gaps in our financial market. And there I have to say that ECO is doing a fantastic job. It's not just because Manuel is there. But for example, with the Línea ECO Crecimiento, so it's a direct financing from ECO that we just kick-started last year. We're already seeing that without having to compete with the financial sector, there is space for us to cover for those financing gaps that are helping SMEs in this case grow and finance new projects. And then there is, of course, the element of scale and help our firms get international. So not only within the EU and within EU markets, but also now having a clear look at Mercosur and the huge potential that we have to increase our exports to Mercosur in sectors that might be more sensitive or more affected by the tariffs, for example, in the US, like wine or olive oil, which are key sectors for Spain. So again, as I said, a fully fledged strategy to allow our SMEs to grow. And then you ask also for big or big consolidation processes at the, if I understood correctly, at the EU level in key sectors, which were highlighted by Draghi as well, be it energy, telecom, financial sector. So on this, of course, is the element of interconnecting or having a clear single market, a functioning single market that will allow consumers to fully operate on equal terms in Spain or Germany or Italy or whatever. And under these conditions, it might be easier to then go ahead with the increase in scale and consolidation processes of European companies in these sectors. I think, again, these are true intertwined elements that will go together, hopefully, in the next future.
I may take a second one. Again, on the challenges, you have pointed out that the housing demand and the housing market is a challenge in Spain, and probably is a challenge for almost every European country. How does the government plan to tackle that challenge? Bank of Spain quantifies around 500,000 lack of houses in Spain. Mm-hmm. Household creation is quite fast, not enough to path housing builds. So how does the government plan to accelerate building permits in a way to soften the tensions that we have in the housing market?
Mm-hmm. Well, you know that it's unfortunate, but there is no silver bullet to have a short-term fix to affordability in the housing market, particularly after more than a decade of underinvestment. Just look back at 2008, where construction sector in Spain was 13% of our GDP. Of course, we were in the housing bubble, but today we're talking about 6% barely. So there is space for this to grow and contribute to that investment to an increase of in our supply. But we're not leaving any stone unturned, if you allow me to say it, because we're looking at different ways, if I focus on supply in this case, but we can look, of course, at regulatory fixes that we're putting on the table as well. Different ways to increase supply also in the short run. We are putting, we did create Casa 47, which is the public company which will be in charge of dealing with affordable rental housing in Spain, where we're really behind our European peers. So what we did firsthand was to give to that company all the dwellings that were in this case in hands of Sareb, our bad bank, so that these could actually be used for that purpose, for the purpose of, we're talking about around 40,000 apartments here. Of course, under different, so the timing will be along the next 2 years, but we're already starting, and this is, again, just one example of a short-term availability or increase in supply, taking all public assets into consideration. Then, of course, looking at short-term rentals in the tourism sector and looking at which ones of them were not abiding by your regulation and getting them to where they should belong, which is a longer-term rental space as well. And then we're, of course, promoting construction, and the construction particularly of build to rent, but construction in general, putting all conditions, particularly through private-public collaboration in this case, to be able to increase the amount of houses that are built on a yearly basis, particularly in those areas which have a higher tension, which, as we know, are the main urban areas in our country. And on this, we're working on reducing the time that it takes for the permits to be ready for construction to start. Again, simplification is a key element ex ante, but then putting financing also in the best conditions on the table, financing that we are redirecting from Next Generation EU funds as well through ECO to be able to boost that supply of housing, and we will continue this effort, even increase it in the next few years, because we understand that this is a key structural driver of the solution going forward. That's it, I'm done. Okay. Thank you very much.